one. John Bow, always quick in this championship. Hasn't got a race win so far this season, so the hunger is there. Jim Policina set the second quickest fastest lap yesterday, so really quick speed from his Tirana. Adam Bressington in this championship fight, but Steve Johnson from outside row 3 will be one to watch.
Certainly will. That car's working well and he's got good tyre condition under it, and they've thrown some setup changes at car 17 for this race. They feel like they'll be able to move forward. Some drivers to watch from outside the top 10. Tony Karanfilowski looking to move forward. Cameron Tilley, the Valiant Pacer, think they've got some extra speed. And Andrew Fisher, who's had a tough weekend in the GTHO Falcon, goes from 14th position, but thinks he's got some good car speed as well.
Rolling start, 2 by 2. 13 rows of cars. Big crowd gathered up the hill. No one wants to miss this one. Painter Dixon Touring Car Masters. We're racing. And that's a really good start from Royal Harris and Jim Policina. Seaton's got some work to do. On the outside, the outside rows all jump together because Steve Johnson's picked up a few spots as well. Bow falls back, so Seaton missed the start, and everyone on the inside suffered. Johnson switches back to the inside at turn 2. He's got the sit here on Jim Policina, but it's Royal Harris leading the way for the first time this weekend. And here comes Bressington to the inside. It's a drag race down the back straight. Who's got the horsepower?
3 wide for a moment. They're really good run out of turn 2 for Bressington. The white one Camaro is going to grab that spot, and possibly another one, because he'll get down the inside of Jim Policina, who was pretty ragged, it has to be said, through turn 1. Had a big slide on the Mocom Tirana, and he's going to be gobbled up here, lose a couple of spots.
Looked like Steve Johnson was about to challenge for second or third there, and then end up getting slotted back a spot. Slots back into 4th. It starts 6th, so net gain of 2. Oh, and Policina's around. Smokes the rears off of turn 5 and in the dust.
Not the first time we've seen that in this category this weekend. In fact, the corner back was where Adam Garwood got turned around and smoked them up in race 2 yesterday afternoon. So great start for Royal Harris. Not surprised he beat Aaron Seaton into turn 1. He's got a bit more capacity under the bonnet of that 69 Camaro.
Fair bit going on in the mid-pack here as well. This is set up to be a really good battle for the lead.
There's always something going on in the mid-pack in Painter Dixon Touring Car Masters, Chad. It's been really busy. Everyone's been really pleased with how clean, for the most part, it's been this weekend, and they're all hoping to get through this 12-lap dash, the same scenario. So Royal Harris, bigger engine, more bottom-end grunt, so it's got a little bit more punch on the rolling start. 5-litre capacity for the Boss 302 Ford Mustang that Aaron Seaton's driving. Was a little bit worried about being beaten into the first corner, but it should be really good over a race distance. Aaron Seaton's been driving that car so well this weekend.
Well, his starts until that point had been really good. Great way to watch the action on the right-hand side, the battle for the lead. On the left-hand side, Ryan Hansford peeling his way through the field. Royal Harris defensive at 6.
So Hansford got the equivalent of a drive-through penalty for that contact with Adam Bressington down at turn 4 yesterday. Adam Garwood, that turned the White Line Racing Camaro around. So he was looking forward to passing some cars in this race. And he's done so, already inside the top 10, up to 9th. Cameron Mason, his next target. This battle for the lead looking good though. The lightweight of the 302 Mustang, they're about 130 kilos lighter than the 5.8-litre cars. And that will pay off as the race goes on, and Harris has just had a very big slide there.
Chance for Seaton, but just as they start to reach the end of the straight, the extra horsepower kicks in. Harris is able to cover down there at turn 3, but under heavy fire at the moment.
This is great. I'm not quite sure where to look because there's so much going on in the battle for the lead. And bottom half of the top 10, and indeed now in pit lane, where unfortunately Pete Burnett's really challenging weekend. This Peters Motorsport prepared Tirana has come to an end. This is Ryan Hansford's old car, stepped up into a new one for this season. Pete, the former V8 Ute racers, jumped in. It's been a tough start to his TCM career, and we've had a few mechanical dramas with that car, as well as contact in that trophy race that ultimately saw Alan Bougen fired across the road.
Johnson hasn't been able to really move through the field from where he started outside row 3. Lap speed is bang on with the leaders. 17.3 that time for Harris, 17.4 Seaton. The quickest in that front pack last time by, the man in 3rd, Adam Bressington.
This has just got a little bit of a feeling that they're all just holding station at the moment, just waiting to see how this plays out. It's a bit like a super speedway race at Talladega where it all goes bonkers in the last 10 laps. It's just got a feeling like that at the moment, Chad.
So watch the outside line on the race start replay. It all moved together. Harris went nice and quickly, and they followed him through. Golden opportunity for Jim Pollicina here today. He was second into turn 1. Here we go again from the onboard of the pole sitter, Aaron Seaton.
So on the rolling start, the red light's go on. He hit the rev limiter. That's why you could hear it crash into the 8,000 RPM limit that the 5-litre car carries. And it just hesitated a little bit, and that was all that Ryle Harris needed to grab that advantage into turn 1.
His first gear. Shows you how quickly you need to make that change. And there's Jim slipping on his own horsepower out of turn 5.
Yeah, and cold tyres wouldn't have helped the cause there, trying to put 600 plus 5-litre Tirana to the ground. Big black strips of rubber laying down with extra drive traction for categories coming up on the program today. Will help them get their power down. Didn't work for Jim Pollicina. So Jim was not only leading the Pro-Am class points, but he was in contention with John Bowe and Ryle Harris for 3rd overall in the weekend. So getting through the opening lap of the race, and he's now a long way down the field, shown in 15th.
How close do you like getting to the action? This is great stuff. Camaro versus Mustang down the back straight. Seaton peeked to the inside. Gee, Harris is good at leading. He's done a lot of that in his career. Bounced across different things. Most successful ute racer in the country. A winner in the Super Utes as well as the V8 Utes. And leading this one nicely at the moment, Andy.
He is leading this one nicely, and I've just come down here to do a random heart rate check. I found 1993 and 1997 Touring Car Chairman Glenn Seaton. What's your heart rate pumping at the moment?
Well, when I was racing, I reckon it was about 220. But at the moment, I reckon it's 250. It's always more nervous than the higher heart rate out here being a father and watching your son run around, which your dad would know when you were racing. And but hey, he's doing a good job. He's done a great job this weekend. Won all the races up till now. He's got nailed off the start, but he's doing a good job. He's putting the pressure on, and that's all he needs to do because the car's pretty strong over race distance.
He certainly is, but I'm just going to jump in here, mate. You're working on a suspension program with this car. Very much a family affair. Are you loving your motorsport at the moment?
Oh, absolutely. We're a team effort. He drives it well. He gives me great feedback. And when you get great feedback, it's really easy to make the car better. And yeah, it's been a real pleasure to work together with each other. And I'm a real proud dad.
Certainly are. Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Andy.
Struggle to find a person in the paddock who doesn't like Glenn Seaton, put it simply.
That's cool.
No, it's a good interview.
Great interview. Well done, Andy Jones. To make the point about Ryle Harris, you were talking before about jumping between categories, and we've got guys jumping between Aussie racing cars and utes this weekend. We've got guys between TCM and Super 3. But I think the difference from the ECB Super Utes to Painter Dixon Touring Car Masters for Ryle Harris, to have that ability to jump from one to the other and just instantly switch yourself on from two of the most wildly different racing cars you could possibly imagine, it just speaks volumes to how good this guy is and how diverse a talent he really is in terms of driving all sorts of different cars when the opportunity presents.
One thing race fans love, loud race cars, big flames, especially old school sounds like this. And the thing of Ryle Harris has been spitting some flames down there at turn 1. Check this out. Wait for it. Might have been on corner entry, I reckon. Very, very cool. That's a big slide as well. Lifting that right front up. No stranger to car control and wobbling those Hoosies around out in the ripple strip. That's on the way out of the corner.
So they run a really quite high-profile tyre for a racing car. There's a lot of flex in the sidewall. This will be the flame shot.
Thank you. That is good, isn't it?
That's the money shot. Terrific stuff. They've been working so hard on the development of that Camaro. It's still a relatively new car. Ian Woodward, who's a noted Queensland racer, spends a lot of time pounding around this place, has built and developed that car. Teammates are going at it here. This is a good battle. Adam Garwood's worked his way up through the field to challenge his teammate Adam Bressington. So this is a fight for 3rd place. But they're really proud, and they say, which will be a worry for everyone else, that there's much, much more to come out of that car Ryle Harris is driving.
Pontiac gets through. Two cars with a very similar bloodline.
That was a good move from Adam Garwood down the inside. They've been struggling with Adam Bressington's car this weekend. They haven't been happy with the balance, and he's just been manhandling it up the order, and they broke a drive shaft, prop shaft in that car earlier in the weekend. So they lost quite a lot of a session in qualifying, didn't go that well. And they've been racing with one arm tied behind their back there, just trying to throw changes at the car and get it better and better. And Adam was second coming into the round in the championship point of view. He lost that spot yesterday to John Bowe, who's now only 58 points behind this guy, Stephen Johnson, who leads the standings. Roel Harris, though, has been the big mover this weekend. He's now fourth in the standings and only 3 points behind Bressington, less than 100 covering the top 4 in the championship at the halfway point of the season. So there's a lot to play out in this. And from having a comfortable 114-point margin coming into the weekend, that DNF for Stephen Johnson in the first of the championship races, Chad, has really hurt.
Now, this is going to get interesting here because Ryle knows where to park that car to keep Aaron at bay, and here's the third man up. Gee, it didn't take him long to get there. Already finished in the top few spots this weekend. Garwood is the fastest on the track, has the quickest lap of the race, and this is no longer a 2-car fight for the lead. We've got 3 cars up for this one.
And this is American Trans Am style racing, so 69 Chevy Camaro leading the way, 69 Boss Mustang second, 1970 Camaro running in third place, and then another 69 Camaro back, and then another Mustang.
Oh.
So all the pony cars, 1, 2, 3, and they're about to be 3 wide.
This is cool. This is what it was like back in the 60s and 70s. Only with maybe a few more mile per hour at the top end. Oh, jam it back down the gears. That didn't sound right for Aaron Seaton. And he's lost second, so Garwood's through.
Great pass. I wonder if he just mis-slotted there and didn't quite get it selected going down into second for turn 3. It's ultimately cost him a spot. We'll work the points out for you. He should still win the round if he finishes third in this race. Garwood's not in contention for a round result. We'll work those maths out for you as we go. It's only 4 laps to go. He's right back on the tail of Adam Garwood, who has to defend now into turn 6. And this is perfect for Roel Harris because it just opens up that race lead while these two are squabbling over second.
How cool was this down the back straight? 2 Camaros and a Mustang having at it. Garwood Camaro's got that similar Pontiac look to what we see elsewhere in the field. And they fanned out. I wonder had Seaton not made that slight error there, if he would have got that job done. But either way, he went around the outside. That's always cool. And
it was right at the apex. You could see that car bobble, the orange Mustang bobble. It didn't get the power down. Off the road goes Cole Begg. That's the ex-production car racer who's making his debut. That's the second of the cars run by Ravage Raceworks, Tim Policina's team.
And thankfully there's no yellow flags down there, so we're free to race on, which is good news. Garwood has been reeling in Roel Harris and working hard at closing the bridge is Bressington, so could be even bigger this battle as we close out the final race of the weekend.
There is the Pontiac you're referring to before. It does look very similar to the 1970 spec Camaro, and as you touched on, they're very similar race cars under the skin. They were really close cousins, I suppose, Pontiac and Chevy back in the day. Pony car wars in the States, and this was the rival, the Ford Mustang. This is a brand new car driven by Cameron Mason. It is a beautiful bit of kit. It was christened yesterday, though. It got through a race win on Friday in the trophy race without a scratch. First championship race, it was hit front and rear. But they feel like they've broken it in now and it's good to go.
At least it's looking a bit better than the Mercury.
Speaking of being broken in.
What a beast.
Alan Bougen is a showman at the best of times.
Looking better than it did yesterday.
They've been working on it. Yeah. He was telling me this morning they've got new fiberglass guards ready to go. They're already in the moulds to go on for the next round of the championship. They'll be back out. He said,
living proof that if you can't fix it with WD-40 or race tape, it's unfixable.
Exactly right. He said to me that the car actually performed better after the crash. That strange sense of irony.
Knocked it into shape. Race for the lead is nearly a 4-car battle. Harris hanging on by his fingertips. Garwood getting sideways as he tries to chase him down. This was a moment ago. Howard really trying to muscle his way to the inside. That was close.
He's driving this car very, very hard. It's one of the most well-used cars in TCM history, that 1970 Camaro. It's being driven extremely well.
Steve Johnson going to bring some points home. Speaking of famous dads, there is Tricky Dicky watching on. over on the right-hand side.
It proves that no matter how old you are, no matter how much success you've had in the sport, you're still a racing dad if your boy's out on the racetrack. That is any kart track in Australia of a weekend. The dad watching from the fence. It's the same here, just at a slightly higher level.
That's cool. That's too cool. Last lap. I saw a lot of people on the back straight on the fence as well, watching the action at the park and view section. It brings the fans to the fence. Touring Car Masters. Last time down the back straight. We're headed for a grandstand finish here. Garwood just drops to the left side. Hoosies onto the dirt. That'll hurt for a moment. Harris will go defensive up at 3.
Adam's been very good under brakes. He's got to get the corner exit right and not have that oversteer, the power sliding that he's had for the last couple of laps. Got out of there really well. But there's the slide, and that'll hurt him just a little bit. But I don't think it's cost him massively. This is on, Chad.
This is good stuff. Harris, 3 corners from a checkered flag. Flames belching out the side of the Camaro. They're both sideways. And Seaton's there as well. Out of 5, 1 corner to go. Harris has been on the defensive this whole time. He's been on the ropes. Oh, and Seaton's got a problem. He's backed out of it. So he'll lose 3rd. That might be enough to even cost him a round win. To the checkered flag. Harris v. Garwood. It's going to be tight. Garwood still can't get the power down. And we'll give this one to Roll Harris.
Great race.
Great race.
Fantastic. It almost looked like Aaron Seaton's car was jammed in gear on the run down into turn 6, and he lost the spot to Adam Bressington. He'll still win the round, though. He's got enough points. Those victories in the first 2 races worked perfectly, so Aaron Seaton will get round 4. Ryle Harris wins the race. He's the 5th first-time race winner this season. It's a remarkable statistic. New names and new faces at the pointy end of TCM.
Nicely done. 0.3 of a second. Remarkably not the closest race we've had this year. That went down at Winton. You wipe the 3 and the 6 off and you're getting a bit closer. Adam Garwood, a really good drive all weekend to be pushing for that podium spot. Won't quite get there. John Boustade out of trouble and might just take 3rd for the round here. 166 points. That's a very smart and wise drive from former champion of the sport on many levels.
You'd expect nothing less, would you? And not quite in a position on raw speed to win races at the moment, but just accumulating as always, and closes in from a championship point of view on Stephen Johnson, DNFs and non-starters. Guy Gibbons and the Monaro packed up. Pete Burnett did not make it home.
Roll Harris is putting on a